I used to think that alcohol helped me to find myself. You know, that feeling after a drink or two, you're a bit looser, a bit more confident, a bit funnier. I honestly believed that that was me, like the real me. But the truth is, it wasn't me, not at all. It was a character that I'd created to hide the real me from view. And it wasn't until I quit drinking that I finally got the chance to meet myself properly. For the first time in my adult life, I could look in the mirror and say, pleased to meet me. When you're living a busy life, you're working hard, you're running around chasing deadlines, alcohol looks like a reward. It feels like a gift. You finish the week, pour yourself a drink, and say, oh, this is for me. But the problem is that alcohol is more like a counterfeit gift. It's shiny wrapping paper with nothing in it. It promises you presence, connection, fun, but really all it gives you is this kind of chemically altered stranger to spend the evening with. Now, I used to think that that stranger was more relaxed, more sociable, more interesting than me. But the next day, when the hangover hit, I'd realised that that version of me had actually robbed me. It had robbed me of my time, my energy, and of the chance to find out who I really am. That kind of lifestyle with like regular drinking, it feels like you're kind of opening this present every Friday night only to discover that the box is empty. And you convince yourself that next week is going to be different. Now, alcohol doesn't introduce you to yourself. It just distracts you from the fact that you've actually never had that meeting. When I first quit, I thought that sobriety was about subtraction. You take away the drink, you take away the hangovers, you take away the chaos. Now, that is of course true, but I didn't realise how much more it was. Sobriety isn't just removing a poison, it's adding presence and it's giving yourself the gift of authenticity. You could think of it like your life is like the static that you hear on the radio. When you're drinking, all you can hear is that crackly noise, so you keep turning it up, trying to make it louder to try and catch the tune. But when you stop drinking, it's like you've just turned that dial just a little bit and suddenly the music comes through clearly. That is what it feels like to meet yourself. The clarity is quite shocking at first. It's a bit like taking sunglasses off and suddenly all the colours come through much more brightly and vividly than before. But once you adjust to that new brightness, that new intensity, you see that sobriety opens up doors that you didn't even know existed. For me, there's just been corridors of doors of possibility that I just wouldn't have seen when I was drinking. New opportunities, new connections, new energy. And the best part is that life doesn't feel like a struggle anymore. It feels like alignment. Everything's just sort of clicking into place because I'm finally showing up as my true self. And it honestly boggles my mind to think about how far away from my true self that I used to live. It shows up in surprising places. Take, for example, these videos, right? I work hard during the week. I've always got jobs to do. But when I sit down to film, it doesn't feel like this is just another task on my to-do list. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like a gift, and it's a gift of time for myself. Filming forces me to step away from the grind, sit down and listen to what I really think, what I really feel, and what I really want to share with the world. Now that is not a job, that's me spending time with me. And here's the crazy thing, I never would have found this gift when I'd been drinking. And the truth of that is that it was because the drinker in me didn't actually want to sit with himself. He wanted to avoid himself. He wanted shortcuts, distractions, and he got the illusion of connection. In short, sobriety gave me the permission to show up in my own life. Now I wonder if you, while you're watching this, can really say that you've experienced this. How many of you think you know who you are, but really it's just a version edited by alcohol? Now, I used to think I needed to drink to be confident, to be fun, to be myself. But all that really did was just block the doorway for me to be able to get to the person that I really was. What possibilities might be waiting for you behind a door like that? What new direction could your life take if you finally gave yourself the gift of meeting you? Because the most magical thing about sobriety is not what it takes away, it's what it gives you. It gives you a depth of authenticity that you just wouldn't know was possible. Now, if you're sober already, you're going to know exactly what I mean. If you're trying to quit, then you can now see what is in store for you. And if you're just curious, ask yourself this: what might it be like to actually have that meeting with yourself? For me, quitting was the biggest gift that I ever gave myself. But meeting the true self was the moment that everything else started to change in my life. That's when everything became more possible, more alive. So this week I've got a challenge for you. Take out 1 hour of this week, block it off in your calendar and call it a gift to me. This is a gift to yourself and you can use it however you want, obviously sober. Writing, walking, creating, listening to music, just sitting quietly, whatever you want to do. But give yourself the space to see what comes up. You might discover a depth that you didn't know was there, and you might get to say these words too: pleased to meet me. So, if you want to keep discovering new layers of who you really are, keep on watching in the third person. I'll see you next week.